In this topic, we discuss the conducting of negotiations to deal with conflict situations. Negotiation is a problem-solving process in which two or more people voluntarily discuss their differences and attempt to reach a joint decision on their common concerns. Negotiation requires participants to identify issues about which they differ, educate each other about their needs and interests, generate possible settlement options, and bargain over the terms of the final agreement. Successful negotiations result in some kind of exchange or promise being made by the negotiators to each other. The exchange may be tangible, things like money, commitment of time, a particular behavior, or it may be anything intangible, such as an agreement to change an attitude or expectation, or even make an apology. Let's evaluate the different stages of the negotiation process. Nearly all negotiations are characterized by the 4 phases: preparation, opening, bargaining, and closing. In large-scale negotiations, each of these phases is normally tackled sequentially. However, in smaller-scale negotiations, it is quite common for these phases to merge, possibly into a single, unstructured process. Where this is the case, a good understanding of the logic that underpins the 4-phase approach can guide you even when you are negotiating smaller deals. Preparation involves the information gathering, knowing the state of the market, being aware of the supply and demand status, being aware of any current or imminent discounts and special offers, and so on. The opening phase of negotiation involves both sides presenting their starting positions to one another. It usually represents the single most important opportunity to influence the other side. In the bargaining phase, your aim is to narrow the gap between the two initial positions and to persuade the other side that your case is so strong that they must accept less than they had planned. To do this, you should use thought-out, planned, and logical debate. The closing of a negotiation represents the opportunity to capitalize on all the work done in the earlier phases. The research that you've done in the preparation phase, combined with all the information that you've gained since, should be guided in the closing phase. We finalize the negotiations and communicate the agreement by following the following steps. We propose, make a proposal for the exchange, summarizing what you expect from the other and what you will give them in return. Agree, check to make sure that the other person understands the deal and is ready to make the exchange. Exchange, complete the deal by making any exchanges as agreed. Finalize agreements verbally, confirm areas of agreement and areas of disagreement. If an agreement is reached, negotiations can cease and the agreements can be finalized. But in the case of a disagreement, negotiations can either cease, be postponed, or resume. Make sure that you record everything that was discussed in minutes, especially in the event of non-agreement, and make sure that minutes are seconded and signed by all parties involved. Finally, we can evaluate this negotiation process. The evaluation and reflection are an important part of the process, as negotiators are constantly confronted by new situations and behavior. Yet, if they identify the strengths and weaknesses of their performance and various tactics employed by both parties, they will eventually build up a data bank of predictable responses and outcomes upon which they can draw in a later negotiation. All records of negotiations should be kept and optimized for future use. So there you go, happy negotiating. It is important to value each member's viewpoint, understanding the types of conflict resolutions to ensure applying the appropriate type for the situations. Apply problem-solving techniques to find solutions to the conflict for the benefit of the organizational goals. Develop the ability to resolve disputes and conflicts effectively through negotiation. Follow the preferred process to ensure that organization and structure is maintained during the process.